But yeah, F1 2017 came out this past Friday. Before I really get into it, I just want to say now we're actually recording this live. I want to say a massive, massive thank you to Christina and the guys on the Codys team for not only letting me into the public beta so I could actually test the game before it came out, but also sending me a really friggin' cool care package, which included a t-shirt, a pen, a mug, which is now residing in my bookies at work for all our free tea that we drink, and this really cool notepad as well, because Catherine will love me for this one. Catherine Brenham, I know you're listening to this, who loves a good notepad. This is so sick. It is such gangster. I am not above sending out for the cause. So shout out to everyone at Codys for sending me that cool stuff. Really appreciate it. As King just looks on with a disgusting look on his face. It's like, Dre, you sell out. I was like, I didn't sell out, I bought in. So thanks to Christine and everybody at Codys for hooking me up with that cool stuff. Maybe next year, if we grind out enough things, we can get on the press release list. Who knows? But
we should definitely start. We should definitely start a co-op championship. That'll definitely get us on the press release list.
Yeah. Jeez, it is funny that this game's out now, and I mean, King, like, what did you make of it all? Like the game's been out for a few days, and for me, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a fantastic game. I mean, what do you think?
Since I only play career mode and pretty much only career mode, to me it's the best Codemasters game that the best Codemasters Formula 1 game they've ever put out.
I think so. The reviews for it have been insanely good. Like, they're in the upper 8 sort of range. I think they're batting at about 87 on Metacritic right now, which is by a mile their highest score for an F1 game they've put out in recent times. Man, I think it's justified for the most part. Like, as a career mode guy myself, I think the career mode itself is fantastic. The hand-in model of the game is great. It's very satisfying to play in the sense of, like, normally when in my days of Let's Playing, in my days of Let's Playing, I was a live commentary sort of guy, but because the game was so floppy on hand and you could talk while playing at the same time quite easily, in F1 2017 you can't do that. Like, the game is just, it sucks you into its zone where you have to concentrate hard to drive, and the more you put into it, the more rewarding it is on the back end. I think it's fantastic in that sense. It's harder to pass cars this year because they nerfed the slipstream effect, so that definitely helps.
Well, like, they kind of nerfed it because that's how the cars are.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't slipstream quite as much this year because the cars themselves are it's very authentic to real F1 right now. The one-stoppers are overpowered, and you can't really tow anybody anymore. But yeah, like, overall, I think it's a fantastic game. The new R&D tree is great. I love the fact that you can basically build your own version of the car, basically, and you choose where to develop. You can improve the car's reliability, or you can go down the road of chassis development, powertrain development, or aero development, depending on where your car might have weaknesses compared to others. Because every car is different in career mode, and every team develops differently as the career mode goes on. It's all at random, so no two career modes are ever quite the same.
Unless you're at McLaren.
And in this case, unless you're at McLaren, in this case, it's all terrible all day. Shout out to my man Scott Woodwis for doing that. And on a serious note, shout out to Ben for being masochistic enough to pick McLaren for a career mode. You're a better man than me, Ben, I'll give you that. But yeah, that is that's kind of nuts in that sense. That's,
yeah.
Like,
I had to look at the system requirements for this thing. I think I got to do a little bit of upgrading if I want to get this game, because it sounds badass. I just don't have enough RAM for it.
Yeah.
It's great, and you've got the classic cars they've thrown back in there as well, and they are stacked full of them from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Even the 2010 Red Bull RB6 is in there as well, which won Red Bull's first championship in 2010. And they feel significantly different. Like, I've driven the F2004 game, I don't know about you, but it's so fast. Like, it is as fast as the modern car.
Admittedly, it's more realistic than the original one. Like, when you say it's so fast, it's so grippy. Like, yes. You could take all the corners, but there's, like, no top-end speed.
Yeah, it's like playing Wipeout again. It's just like, oh, this Faisar's really fast. Like, it's like, it's got all the handling ability, but like they haven't got the top end speed that the modern cars have. But like the amount of mechanical grip is just off the charts. It's ridiculous. Or if you drive the Red Bull RB6 in 2010, like it's so it feels so much lighter than driving the modern cars. You can just chuck it into corners, and like the car will hold you off, and it will carry you through those corners. It is ridiculous to drive those cars. I'm not saying the game is perfect. You've probably seen the reports of online being broken, because it kind of is right now. They released a patch today for the PS4 and PC to address some of the problems. It's a shame that the online beta didn't go to plan, even though they only had 300 people in it. It didn't really go great. There was problems back then, and the problems seem to have carried over, which is a shame. There's still numerous glitches that need to be ironed out, which is the same deal with every Codys game, really. There's always a good chunk of release date bugs that need ironing out. We work with, like, you know, certain guys that are making those glitch videos with the first 2 weeks the game comes out, and then they patch them later. And you know I'm looking at you.
Like, I've only noticed, I've only noticed 3 like big glitches during my time playing the game. Like, one thing that constantly happens is the skybox. You know, the clouds, like, it constantly glitches out, where it's like it stutters and stuff like that. Also, the drivers kind of like sometimes just disappear from their cars, where like you're racing against an empty car. And then another one is the textures sometimes just don't load in, so it's all like just blurry, pixelated textures sometimes. So
my brother's had that on the PS4 because he's got the PS4 version in the game, and he's had a couple of where like the helmet won't render properly. It's very weird. So again, it's far from perfect. It's still got, sadly, the yearly problem of Cody's early game release gremlins, but hopefully they'll be ironed out real soon, because the core gameplay I think is fantastic and the career mode is great. I just pray to God they can fix multiplayer, because that is where the money is going to be for a lot of people, especially the league racers out there. That, you know, the guys, the Limitlesses, the TR Martins of the world, the guys that are going online and in the AOR and racing every weekend. It's not.
I don't think that's where the money is. I think that's just where the loudest complaints are going to come from.
That too. Like, let's be real here. But yeah, that's always going to be a thing, because those guys are very deeply invested in it, and especially now that we're going to have an esports championship. You know, esports. Woo! We're going to see Noble dominate another championship. But you know, again, great for Formula One to have esports, and I'm delighted that Codys are the ones that are running it, and apparently they've worked very, very hard behind the scenes to make that happen. So, and that's great. Like, esports is fantastic, and I'm glad that there's more of an esports influence in racing games in general. I mean, before, not too long ago, the only game we had represented was Trackmania, for frick's sake. So I'm glad that we're getting, you know, more.
Remember when the pinnacle of motorsport-related esports was the Vegas E-Prix?
Yeah, or we could go back further. Remember when the best we got was like one race of Project Gotham Racing during the championship gaming series? Like, that was about as far as it got back then. man, I just got to say, Trackmania Nations, like World Cup Edition, like, that was legit, and it was free, and it was so much fun. You could get like hours and hours of great gameplay out of it. Yeah.
If you had the right controller. If you were just using it on a keyboard, you might as well just go fuck yourself.
So yeah, with all that in mind, I think they've got a very, very good core package for Formula One 2017, and like, for me personally, this is definitely their best game in the series so far, and this is finally the F1 game that I think has hit the most amount of potential for Codys in the grand scheme of things. Like, this is like basically a done over 2013, and I think that is a good place to start, because I think 2013 was where the series about peaked in terms of just
that was the last one that I had.
Yeah, the classic.
Still play it all the time.
The classic cars, the extra tracks, the bonus content, and the cars themselves weren't that fun to drive, but yeah, overall, I thought 2013 was the best game in the series beforehand. I think 17 is the best since then, and I think it's a slightly better game because the game itself is more fun.
Like when you hit like race 3 and race 4 of career mode, where reliability starts coming into play for not only you but the other cars. Oh my god, it's so much fun.
I've just done 2 races so far. I'm starting Bahrain's weekend probably tonight. So that's.
And McLaren have already used their 4th engine.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. But yeah, I will probably do at least 1 full game review video of the game itself in the next couple of weeks when I find some time. I've still got my old capture card growing dust somewhere in the corner of my bedroom, so I might put it to use for something. So stick around. There'll probably be more on that, you know, in the coming days. So look forward to that. And who knows, I might do a one-off career mode episode or something. Like that, you know, like I'll come out of retirement for one night only. It's like, yeah, let's do Bahrain. Oh no, my engine's failed. Great episode, guys. See you in Baku. But
Is that Paul di Resta come back?
Yeah, like stick to reporting, son, basically. But yeah, that'll just about do it